GapCross is an online platform for creating and conducting assessments that range from simple checklists to certified audits. This is a fast-paced overview of the auditing capabilities that includes the latest features of version 3. So fasten your seatbelts and hold on. I will step through the audit flow and very briefly demonstrate how GapCross is used at each process in the flow. The flow starts when someone initiates an assessment. The first process is some preparation and planning. What is the objective? What criteria will be used? Is there an existing checklist? Are travel arrangements required? Who will be involved? Is a formal plan needed? Part of the process is acquiring or developing the assessment program. You can acquire pre-made assessments from the GapCross marketplace, author your own programs, or utilize our services to transform your custom checklist into professional assessments. Let's take a look. In GapCross, I'll go here to the marketplace dashboard, and here I can acquire features in various different programs. Throughout the presentation, I'll be working with this FDA food sanitation assessment. Let's take a look at how we can author our own program if we decide not to use one from the marketplace. I'll go into programs and I'll click on the author button, and let's just make a new one. I'll call it new. You notice it's blank. There's no sections. There's no questions. I can add sections, and then I can add questions to that section. Let's go take a look at a program that's already built up. We'll go in and edit the program. Now I can see I have my different sections. Here's the questions in there. Let's take a look at the details of this question. I can change the text. I can add tips. I can change the question type. I can specify different choices for a question, add defaults, specify what is correct, simple scoring, weighting, or adding complex scoring. And I can also add references in that provide users of the program with reference to more information to help them out. With a program in hand and an assessment plan in place, it's time to conduct the assessment. This will be followed by an initial report that's produced for the assessee. So back into GapCross, I'm going to switch over to the assessment dashboard. And one thing I should point out, all the different dashboards in different areas have these question mark buttons. You can click that at any time and get more help on the screen you're working with. So let's jump into this assessment that's already started. And let's go into one of the sections. We'll go into procedures. And I had mentioned references. So here's a reference to part 117.35 of the FDA regulations. And if I just click on this, it'll pop me into the ecfr.gov website where I'm landing on this section about sanitary operations. The other thing that I can do is I can add in comments, flags, and to-do items. I can use one of the floor flag types that's already named, or I can add my own new type of flag. I can add attachments in by clicking the Add Attachment button, or view attachments that are already attached. I'll click on View, and that'll give us a high resolution of a shelf that's rusty with chipped paint, not a sanitary condition. So let's jump in and say I'm ready to do a report. Notice that 33 of the 36 questions are answered at this point. I have a couple left to do, but I want to go get a preliminary report. So I'll click in here, go to reports, and it produces the report. I got my summary at the top, and then each of the sections, policies, here's procedures. There's various things I can change throughout here to modify my report. What I'm going to do is just jump down to the appendix and just show you how that looks real quick. And I'm going to add in the flags appendix. There it is, added in, and the different types of flags. Some items that are conforming but need some attention, and then some corrective actions and preventative actions that are required. At any time, I can click on the PDF and generate a PDF and print that out. Next, corrective actions are made by the assessee. As corrections are made, responses and evidence of the corrective action can be recorded in GapCross. You can grant the assessee access to view assessment results and references, to reply to corrective actions and other flags, to add attachments and photographic evidence. The assessor's original answers and attachments are protected from modification. From your office, you can review the assessee's replies and attachments and decide if an on-site follow-up is needed. This can be an iterative process. When it's all done, the assessment is locked and further modifications and saved as a permanent record. So in doing that, I would go into the assessment again, and in here, let's jump back into it. I can find all my unanswered questions, go locate those and get everything answered. I can review the items that have gaps, in this case, the non-compliant questions, and I can find to-do items that need to be taken care of, make sure everything is done. So once that's all done, then I can change this assessment into a final record. GapCross is cloud-based and accessible at every step in the flow. A repeat assessment can be based off of a previously recorded assessment. So back into GapCross, I'll bring up the record dashboard. Here's a previous assessment. I can come in here and say Reassess, and I can decide, do I want to bring in all the previous answers in the history? Do I want to just bring in attachments, copy observations, just check off what I want and don't want, and then give it a name and start my assessment. In addition to audits and assessments, GapCross can be used for simple checklist with linked knowledge references, orientation and training programs with quiz questions, procedural applications, especially when verification, data collection, and record retention are necessary, and decision-making and diagnostic flows with action steps. Building applications on GapCross transforms individual knowledge into retainable institutional knowledge. There's just one question to ask. Are you ready to unleash your inner creativity? Go to GapCross.com and try out one of the free assessments. For tutorials and videos on specific topics, visit our support page, support.gapcross.com. Thank you for watching.